Hello YouTube! B3 here, back with another kicking action figure review. Today we have the very first Build a Megazord figure from the new Power Rangers Legacy Collection. Yes, this is the Storm Megazord from Power Rangers Ninja Storm. And to build this figure, you need Power Rangers Ninja Storm Legacy Collection Red Ranger, Yellow Ranger, and Blue Ranger. Red comes with the torso and head. Yellow comes with the left arm and left leg. And blue comes with the right arm and right leg. Only 3 figures for a Build-A-Figure is actually a pretty good deal. Normally I have to get like 5 at the minimum to do a Build-A-Figure for like DC or Marvel figures from Hasbro and Mattel. But these guys only had to do 3. Now the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Megazord will be 5 to build. But, yeah, it's whatever. So this is a pretty ace figure, actually. I was very surprised when this new Legacy line came out and they had Build a Megazords. I was very surprised. They're not as big as the Legacy Megazord, so they're not going to scale well with those. I'm just going to go ahead and say that, since I don't have Legacy Megazords. But they're pretty decent-sized figures in their own right. They're good figures. I mean, it's probably not the best Megazord figure I've ever had, but most Megazord figures I've ever had are not in my collection anymore, because several years ago my mom threw away all my action figures because she thought I was too old for them. Which is psychologically probably the reason I collect action figures now. But yeah, here it is, Storm Megazord. Pretty cool. Let's zoom out just a tiny bit so that we can take a look at this sucker without being in too close. He's pretty cool. He's made up of 3 different Zords in the show. You know, I guess there's technically no gender here, but still, 3 different Zords in the show, made of the Hawk Zord, Lion Zord, and Dolphin Zord. I'm sure you can tell which belong to who. I remember it could turn into, like, they had this lightning mode it could go into, which I always thought was really cool. Maybe with Crimson Thunder, Navy Thunder, and Samurai, they'll come with parts for lightning mode, or the Thunder Zord, or the Samurai Zord. I doubt it, but that would be cool still. Huzzah! But this is a nice figure. The detail is actually quite good. The sculpt is very nice. It does look pretty good. It's lacking a lot of paint, I feel like, but I'm not bothered by it much, honestly. There's not a lot on the back. Maybe there could be some more on the back, but you know, I'm not too upset about the paint. There could be a bit more, but This is the first Build a Megazord in this line, period. Next one's Mighty Morphin. Hopefully we'll get a Thundersaurus Megazord. You know, love me some Dino Thunder, but hopefully we'll also get weapons with them. And that's my real complaint about this guy. No weapon. Doesn't come with a weapon. And you can say, oh, maybe they'll include a weapon with one of the Special Rangers from Ninja Storm, if they ever get around to making those. But his hands are just fists. Couldn't hold a weapon even if he wanted to. And I guess they'd have to give him an interchangeable hand, which is possible. They come off and go on pretty well. I mean, they aren't really designed to do that, but they do. I mean, it's whatever. It's whatever. Still a pretty cool Megazord. I liked this Megazord as a kid. My favorite part was the Lion Zord. I really liked the Lion Zord. But I do like this figure. It's cool. Now we're going to get into some articulation. The head first, up and down, you know, moves all around. All kinds of movement here in the arm like that. Forward and back. Got a bicep. Right there. Wrist. You already kind of saw me move the wrist a bit. Wobbles also like that. Nothing on the waist. No room for ab articulation, so that's fine. And the Megazords, they like the people in the costumes can't bend like that anyways, so it's totally fine. You know, this arm moves the same way. I know it looks different, but it's got the same articulation. It's just a little harder to move the hand around on the dolphin arm. The legs, when you're putting this guy together, be very careful putting in these legs because it's a tight fit and you don't want to break these flaps off here. Those are plastic. They will break if you push them down too hard when the legs aren't in here to stop them. They might still break otherwise, so don't do that too much. But the legs go in and out, forward and back. Pretty good. You got a ball right here on the knee, so it can move all about. Like, you can do whatever with this knee, man. They do like to pop off the knee joint pretty easily, though. So when you're posing, that might happen. Just be careful. And then the foot, up and down, ankle pivot. I mean, he's pretty well articulated, you know, for what you get. And it is pretty cool. I just wish he came with a weapon. That's my biggest complaint on this guy, is that he doesn't come with a weapon. And now how about we get into some size comparisons? Now here's our Storm Megazord with some Action Hero Series figures. Here on the left, the Dino Charge Megazord, and on the right, Villain Snide. You know, fighting the villains, and Megazord team-ups, and etc. And he just does not scale well with the Action Hero Series. He's too big. This whole line's too big for the Action Hero Series. But it's totally fine. Still, it's fine, you know. I'm still going to get these Megazords, too, I think. They're pretty cool. And if you guys watch my Marvel and DC reviews, you know that whenever I do a Build-A-Figure Collect and Connect, I always show them with the figures you need to build them. And here is this figure with the 3 Ninja Storm Rangers. Red and yellow have mostly the same parts, so I'm just going to pull red out. And obviously the Rangers would never be this big with the Zord, but in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Green Ranger, when he was evil, could grow gigantic. So I will also show you Mighty Morphin Green Ranger from this line. And taller than Green Ranger as well, which I like. I mean, it's a Build-A-Figure. It should be bigger, correct? I mean, that makes me feel like my money's, you know, worth it. Now, since I don't have a lot of other Ranger things to compare, like I don't have the Chigokin Megazord, and I don't have the Legacy Megazords or any of the regular giant Megazords, because I'm not a big Megazord collector, to be totally honest. I mostly get the Rangers. So I'm going to show the Megazord with other things that it could potentially go with. Here we have some 6-inch Godzilla figures. These are both domestic. Here on the left, the NECA Burning Godzilla, and on the right, the Fusion Godzilla 2000 from Bandai Creations. Now here's our Megazord with some other giant characters. Here on the left we have the Giant Man from the Marvel Legends Ant-Man wave, the 6-inch Giant Man. And here on the right, an Ultra Hero Series, Ultraman. And if you haven't watched Ultraman, but you're a fan of Power Rangers, definitely check out Ultraman. You'll love it. And here we have our Megazord with the figures I think it looks best with, honestly. Maybe not detail and paint-wise, but definitely size-wise. And that would be the NECA Pacific Rim line. Yeah, here on the left we have Hong Kong Brawl, Gypsy Danger, and on the right, Kaiju Hardship. And in the current Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic book by BaM, you guys know which comic I'm talking about, by BaM Studios? You see the Kaiju in this comic, which is a more mature take on Power Rangers that's still kid-friendly, as far as I've read anyways. The monsters look like Pacific Rim Kaiju, kinda. So, check out this title, for one thing. And I think that this figure goes quite well with my Pacific Rim stuff. I love it with my Pacific Rim stuff. So what are my final thoughts on the Power Rangers Ninja Storm Storm Megazord from the new Legacy Collection line? Incredible! I love this line. I think the Build-A-Zord idea is incredible. I think I might have mentioned that that would be a cool thing to do in a review before, but I never thought they'd actually do it. Hopefully they will include weapons with these Zords down the line. I don't think the Mighty Morphin Zord is going to come with a weapon either. The picture on the back of the box shows 2 closed fist hands and no weapon. But, I mean, sometimes back-of-the-box pictures are different than the actual figure. You know? Prototype images and all. But yeah, so I can't wait to put the Mighty Morphin Zord together. I'm hoping we get other Zords like Dino Thunder and Dino Charge. Of course, gotta have the Dino Zords, right? Am I right? White Ranger Zord would be nice. Lots of Zords. You know what? If they just sold Zords in this scale like this, just by themselves, I'd get them. I'd get Zords like this. Like a $20 Zord, just like this. I would do that. I'd pay for that. But these big Zords that are all combo nation and stuff, they just take up so much room, and they're so expensive. But Zords like this that are just more like an action figure and less like a transformer, I guess. This is the kind of, like, Zord toy I prefer. Just the robot itself, good to go. But yeah, that's it, you guys. Thank you all very much for your support. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe. But yeah, that is it. If you have this figure and are just watching reviews and to talk about it in the comments, leave a comment. But yeah, I love hearing your feedback and everything. So thank you all very much, and I'll see you all later.